So poor old Jonathan's been up against it this morning, haven't you? Every single story's about Labour. Here's another one, right? UK expected to follow US in letting Kyiv use missiles. So the US has got, I called them Attack M's yesterday, but they're Attack'ems, the US missiles. Ours are Storm Shadows. And obviously the Prime Minister's decided we've got to stick with Ukraine, Jonathan.
Yeah, he's talking about doubling down our support for Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine themselves want to be able to use these missiles. Joe Biden's is going to allow some of these missiles. Zelensky's saying they've been fighting with one hand tied behind their back. And this is the moment, really. If we support Ukraine, do we support them really going in and defending themselves against Russia? It sounds like the UK is going to follow the US, although these are operational matters. We probably won't find out until after the event. We're not going to pre-announce it.
But let's just have a look at what the Prime Minister said.
We must double down on our support for Ukraine. Tomorrow is day 1,000 of the conflict. That's 1,000 days of aggression from Russia and 1,000 days of sacrifice from Ukraine. So that is my clear message here.
Well, James, is that all right with you?
I do think it's a massive escalation if you do it. You know what I mean? I would have thought, obviously supplying arms and everything else, we want to understand that the conflict is unwarranted and it's tragic, but giving them the ability to actually fire into Russia, when you see how far they can fire into, that is sort of a red road to
made in UK on the missiles. I don't know. What do you, Lynn, you don't like it?
No, and this is why, I know people criticise me massively for this, but this is why bring on Trump as quickly as possible, because I genuinely believe that he actually wanted to de-escalate
Well, he does, yeah.
Exactly, and...
He does, but he doesn't want to help Ukraine. He's happy for Ukraine to be Russian.
Yeah, but, OK, we say that he doesn't want to help Ukraine, but what does the Ukrainian fighter who was forced to go to the front line feel about that? Because if it's de-escalated and the war is brought to a close, then that's got to be a good thing for all of the soldiers on either side.
Well, of course I want to bring the war to an end. Nobody wants war to continue. War is horrendous. But the difference for Donald Trump is, he's not got Russia essentially, on his continent, on his borders. I mean, and there are countries across Eastern Europe who are deeply, deeply worried about us giving in to Putin and what it means for them, whether that's the Estonias, the Polands of the world. Where does that leave them? That is what they are asking.
But what about the people? I do not feel that there is this hunger and thirst for war, whether it be financially, whether it be boots on the ground. We don't want it. So I feel that this whole let's support US no matter what, let's escalate this. Have you turned around and asked the British people? Because the tone is we do not actually want to do this.
I don't know. I'm really sixes and sevens on this, because we can't read Putin's mind, because you can't read the mind of a psychopath. And he has got nuclear weapons, and he may put a pocket weapon into, so-called pocket nuclear weapon into Ukraine, and then what? And then the radiation drifts over Poland, and then we're in it.
Yeah, I think, look, unfortunately, when I said about the weapons, I think giving them the ability to fire into Russia is a sort of escalation. I think Ukraine are perfectly in their right to defend themselves. I don't think what Russia's done is unlawful.
But what about this argument, right? That Biden has only done it to cause Trump a problem.
Yes.
Because what Biden wants to do is to put Ukraine on the front foot. So when Trump comes to power, he has to pull them back.
Yeah, they're making it bad.
Yeah. And he'll have to cancel stuff. And that's not a good thing for us to be following, Jonathan.
It's reactive.
Well, look, we are allies of the US.
But we don't want to be trolling Trump.
No. And, let's see where we get to on that. But look, the fundamental issue is when it comes to... Look, nobody wants war. Everybody wants peace, of course. But in the end, Russia has marched into another country. And if we're prepared to put up with that, if we're prepared to say you're allowed to do that, where does that leave the other countries in Europe?
There was reasons. Putin, I have to say this, Putin on multiple occasions prior to entering Ukraine said, leave my border. And if this was the US encroaching, another country was encroaching on the border of the US, they would not stand for it. So why do we expect Russia to stand for it?
What if somebody came over our border?
Crisis,
Thank you, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
OK, Lynn, another story.